There's acne information. Acne is a very important thing to treat as well. So my first book, I wanted to help everyone. And then I kind of went back to, okay, let's publish the eczema diet because this is what I did with my daughter. And it's totally, the diet for someone with eczema is totally different to a diet for somebody with acne. Acne is oily skin, eczema is very dry skin. So any dry skin condition, you're going to need a vastly different diet to someone with oily skin. So that was the start of my journey. And well, actually before that, I grew up with skin problems as well. I was the kind of kid that looked like I was sick all the time. I used to joke I grew up on aspirin. So no wonder I ended up with salicylate sensitivity because I had headaches every week. I was, popping aspirins as a kid. So I did end up with salicylate sensitivity. And that's why no one really talks about salicylate sensitivity, but it's the most widely researched chemical in the world because of all the problems that people have had with aspirin and getting asthma attacks and being seriously ill from aspirin. So it's a massively researched area. So when I was treating eczema, I was like, there's so much scientific research on salicylates that actually made it easier for me to design my diets.
I remember the first time I heard about salicylates was probably from your book, and then speaking to, I think it was our accountant whose son had really bad eczema, and they drilled down to salicylate sensitivity being kind of the cause. And what shocked me, I think, about when I learned about them is they're in so many foods and actually a lot of foods we would consider like healthy and maybe even like the foundation of our diet, especially if we're trying to feed our kids lots of vegetables and fruits and whole foods and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, could you speak a bit to that?
Yeah, salicylate foods aren't unhealthy. They are definitely in healthy foods. And my goal has always been to get people not being sensitive to salicylates so they have a varied diet. We tend to demonize things like gluten and histamines in foods and amines in foods and salicylates in foods. And I probably did that in the early days as well, going, this is bad for eczema. But while really it's our immune systems are overreacting to a harmless substance. So that's the bottom line with any sort of food intolerance. Look, food allergies might be a little different, but with any food intolerance such as salicylate sensitivity, histamine intolerance, even gluten intolerance in the milder sense, and other food chemicals. There's glutamate such as MSG. Those are intolerances based on our immune system overreacting to stuff. So while with my dietary stuff, it's really important to reduce those things in the diet to calm down your skin and get you feeling normal again, and that calms down the immune system. And then you can start reintroducing those salicylate foods again, even reintroducing little bits of gluten. And it does depend on the dosage to start off with. So it's calming down the immune system by giving it a little break. A 3-month break from those high chemicals is often enough for people to be able to consume them again. Some people it does take longer. Some people it takes a year or two.
I'm thinking about that naturopathic concept where there's like that bucket of tolerance, I suppose, or chemical inputs into the system, and the body sort of gets to a point where it really just can't handle what's coming in anymore. And so I think what you're talking to there is that if we reduce the load on the body, it gives the body a chance to heal and repair, and then it doesn't have to necessarily be a lifetime of avoiding. They're in mangoes and things, right? Like yummy foods.
Oh, yeah. The bucket being full, that's a really good analogy, because what happens is, yes, so the bucket does get full. And how that occurs is your liver is designed to deactivate salicylates and eliminate them from the body. But your liver needs nutrients to do that. So your liver needs a range of B vitamins and zinc and minerals and glycine and a bunch of other proteins in order to deactivate salicylates and other chemicals. And drugs such as paracetamol and so forth, the liver does all of that. But when your liver runs out of nutrients, the bucket fills up really quickly. So a nutrition approach is also really important, and also calming down the nervous system is really important as well, and stress. So that all helps to empty that bucket. It's an important thing because there are fun foods, salicylate foods, almonds, which are high lectins as well, which can damage the gut lining. There's so many good and bad things to any health food. It's funny because people just say, avocado, coconut, almonds, the best thing for your skin. I was like, well, yeah, if you process them properly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if your bucket's full, avocado could give someone the worst itchy night of their life, and they'll be crying all night because they can't sleep and they're itching like crazy. I've had head-to-toe eczema myself, and I've had nights like that, even while avoiding all the foods when my autoimmune condition for a while that made everything crazy. I'm better now.